To get divorced over pickles is insane. I was gonna say, it's kind of creepy that she's completely alone and that he pointed that detail out. Just saying. How dense do you have to be that you pull out a keyboard and you type out this whole story and you're like, oh, am I the a-hole in the story? Ew. Am I actually the a-hole? Yes! Oh, I love soap sandwiches. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Laylah, and for the last time, happy spooky month. So this month, I've tried to center my content around spooky stuff. We've done a lot this month, and it was actually fun. But every last Friday of the month, I post Am I the A-hole stories. So I was like, how am I gonna do this? Because I don't want to stop Am I the A-hole schedule, but I also want to keep things kinda themed. So today I tried to find some of the most insane, toxic, scary stories from Am I the A-hole? Because I said this last week, because nothing is creepier in life than actual people. And I think that is radically true. So in case you don't know what this is, Am I the A-hole is a subreddit on Reddit where people can post a story or situation that happened and ask the timeless question, am I the A-hole? And from there, people will make their convictions. Yes, no, you're the a-hole, you're not the a-hole, everybody sucks here. And so today I'm going to be taking all of the posts in today's video from this Instagram page I follow called Toxic Reddit. They are a page on Instagram that curates some of the most toxic Reddit stories from across various subreddits, not just Am I the A-hole. So if you're into the stories, you should go check them out. So everybody get comfortable, settle in, and let's just dive right in with the first story. Am I the a-hole for apparently not treating my daughter like a normal person? I am the father of two men, both 29-year-old twins and one 25-year-old woman. My daughter grew up with and went to high school and college with a very friendly guy who passed away earlier this year at the age of 24. All of my kids were good friends with this person, and my sons took him under their wing as the young men grew up. When they were in high school and college together, I was convinced that my daughter and her friend had a thing. And that, in fact, they were more than just friends. My daughter and I got into countless fights where she accused me of being a weirdo about her relationship with the young man. And although I say this half-jokingly, my main thought about their relationship was, when was he going to propose to her? This past weekend, my daughter was staying over with me and her mother. One Saturday evening, my daughter got drunk, and she spent the night reminiscing about the young man and viewing short clips of them having fun in high school a decade ago. My daughter's face was red the entire time, and I know that it was because she was drunk. However, I sat down with her, and I jokingly told her, I can see that you're blushing, just looking at him. With this, my daughter snapped at me, and she tearfully yelled at me that she wasn't blushing, that she was just drunk, and she told me that she just wanted me to treat her like an ordinary person. That's my side of the story. My intention was only to make a small joke. I think I read this right. He died, right? So I feel like the joke's not really appropriate, and like, it's not even like, man, you really cared about him. It's, I can see that you're blushing just looking at him. The guy died, and she's probably very upset and grieved over the fact that the guy died, and that's the joke you come up with? 100% you are the a-hole, because that's just inappropriate. Read the room, guy! Anyways, on to the next one. Am I the a-hole for eating all my pregnant wife's pickles and refusing to go buy more, even though she is craving them badly? Yes. I need help. I, 28 male, hosted a work lunch where the main food was sub sandwiches, homemade. Love soap sandwiches. My wife, 27, is 5 months pregnant and craves all pickles. Butter, garlic, dill, kosher, mini, etc. You name it, and she craves it. Due to this extensive craving, which is understandable, I guess, we have several jars of varied pickles. I love pickles! I used one jar of dill pickles for the sub sandwiches, which are her favorite, but still left over seven jars of varying types of pickles. After the lunch was finished, she confronted me about eating all of her dill pickles and demanded I go buy more. I argued that I only used one jar and never host anything, as this was our first house and we had just fully settled in after moving out of my parents' finished basement, and she told me that I should have asked her first and that I was being for eating her pickles. I told her that she was being unreasonable and refused to buy her more until she finished all seven jars of pickles we still have, and have had for months, some are not opened. She threatened me with divorce and did not speak to me for three days, until her ankles were swollen to get her shoes on by herself. Please help. Am I the a-hole? If yes, I will apologize and buy four jars of her favorite dill pickles. If not, we may give the divorce, although this threat was likely due to her spiked hormones. What is with the formatting? So, I'm dumb. And a bunch of people are pointing this out in the comment section. If there were so many pickle jars, and some even unopened, why go for the ones she is eating and is clearly favoring? To get divorced over pickles is insane. What do I even say here? So I do want to say you are the a-hole, and, it's a very strange story. On to the next one. Okay, here's another pregnant woman one. There's a lot of pregnant lady stories. That's actually kind of concerning that so many people treat their pregnant wives so poorly. Am I the a-hole for telling my pregnant wife that I don't care that she is sick and refusing to cut up watermelon for her? Yeah! My 28 male wife, 27 female, is pregnant with our second child. I work while she stays home. Our son, 3 male, is currently spending a few days at her parents' because my wife is close to full term and they are giving her a break. I thought this was going to be a nice break for both of us. Last night, she woke up supposedly unable to breathe and asked me to take her to the emergency room. I told her that I had to work and asked if she would drive herself. I wanted to go in early to get overtime, and I knew I would be late if I took her. She said that she needed me to take her because she was having a hard time breathing, and she started crying. I ended up relenting, and I did take her, and I stayed with her the whole time. She was diagnosed with a sickness and is currently waiting for her OB-GYN to approve an antibody infusion and another medicine. On the way home, she asked me if I would cut up a watermelon for her when we got home. This is where I might be the a-hole. At this point, I was an hour late to work. I told her no, that I had to get into work. She said that she felt really sick and it would mean a lot. I said I didn't care and that I had to get into work. She started crying and saying I don't care about her at all, which obviously made me angry, and I ended up ignoring her and dropping her off at home. I don't think I was that unreasonable, so I'm wondering, Reddit, am I actually the a-hole? Yes! That was the worst story I've ever read with my own 2 eyes. 100% you're the a-hole. I've defended many a pregnant woman on this channel. Many a times. And when I read these stories, I read them and I go like, what? I don't get how you can be, in a relationship with someone, and especially be in a married relationship with someone, and treat them like total garbage. He totally, 100% prioritized work over the health of his wife and unborn child. You know that feeling you get in your stomach when you're, like, mad about something? Ew. How dense do you have to be that you pull out a keyboard and you type out this whole story and you're like, oh, am I the a-hole in the story? Obviously. Am I the a-hole for bringing my male friends with me to ask a girl out? There was this girl in college that I thought was very pretty. We had a few classes together, and although we weren't close, we had a few polite conversations. I observed her a lot, so I was familiar with her college routine. I have a group of friends that I am pretty close with in college. One day I told them that I was going to ask this girl out. They were hyped for me. A few of them asked if I wanted them with me for emotional support. Granted, I was pretty nervous, so I said, why not? I knew that in the afternoon, the girl is usually alone in this one study room in the library. So I decided to come to her there. The day came. Me and my friends went to the library, and we saw her alone in the study room. We went in, some of my friends were in the corner, some were outside looking in through the window. I noticed that she became visibly uncomfortable, but at the time I didn't think much of it. I went up to her and started talking. I told her that I thought she was pretty, and I asked if she wanted to go on a date sometime. She was looking around for a bit, and then said that she doesn't want to do that. I said, okay, that's too bad, and walked out. My friends followed me and were giving me condolences. I felt bummed out, but not terrible. The day after, I tried to greet her when I saw her around, but she was very awkward for some reason. I thought that maybe that's just how it is for these things. You ask someone out, they reject you, and now they feel awkward around you. Apparently not. I was approached by her brother, who was also in the same college, and was told that I needed to leave her alone because I made her uncomfortable in the library. I asked him to elaborate on that, and he said that me bringing my male friends with me and cornering a woman who was alone was not appreciated. I was gonna say, it's kind of creepy that she's completely alone and that he pointed that detail out. Just saying. I told him that I just asked her out and didn't have bad intentions. He said that he only cares that his sister felt unsafe around me and that he wasn't interested in my intention. He also said that if I was a real man, I would have gone alone to talk to a woman, not bringing a gang of males to back me up. I felt embarrassed and honestly angry. I was just trying to ask this girl out, and my friends are not thugs like this guy insinuated. Now all of a sudden I am seen as this predator. I wanted to tell my friends what happened and ask for their opinion, but I honestly don't want to drag this out, and I don't want words to get around that I'm a predator. Was this unfair? Am I the a-hole? I'm honestly kinda angry at this girl and her brother. I mean, we were in the library. The staff and other students were right there outside. Did she think I was going to do something to her in that kind of setting? The thing is, it would make me pretty radically uncomfortable if I was alone and, a guy who seemingly knows my schedule, who I've only talked to a little bit, found me, and with his friends surrounding him in various locations, asked me out. I would feel threatened, and I think a lot of people would. Like, the thing is, he may have had nothing but the purest, most angelic intentions possible, but the way he went about this was insanely creepy, and I can totally see her perspective. Like, people are saying maybe he has anxiety and it's not predatory, and I get that, but he clearly made her very uncomfortable, and I did find it strange that he knew she would be alone at this specific time. I found that to be kind of creepy, so from that alone, I am going to say this guy is the a-hole, just the way he went about this. I don't think he should be angry. I think he should take into account that your approach on these things can kind of make or break how someone else feels. And if a woman is telling you, or a woman's brother is telling you, that she feels threatened, just take it seriously, learn the lesson, and move on. So I would say you are the a-hole in this case. On to the next one. So I want to do just like one less crazy one for the night and to wrap up our spooky season. Am I the a-hole for begging my sister to let us adopt my nephew? I just had a miscarriage 3 months ago, and my husband and I tried so hard for that to be our stick baby. Within the past year, we've had 6 miscarriages. We are devastated, but we are not willing to give up on trying for our own. Someday it will happen. This past month, my sister welcomed her newborn into this world. He is my second nephew, and the most precious thing in the world. I adore him so much. During my sister's pregnancy, I was a major part of it, and she is aware of all our losses, and she knows how badly we want a baby. We want one so bad, it hurts. After our miscarriage, we suggested we name her son after the baby we miscarried. His name would have been Noah. My sister said she found it a little intruding and ultimately declined. We were devastated, but we respected her decision. Once I got closer to her induction date, we suggested giving her a ride there, and I offered to be in the room with her. I begged her to let me cut his umbilical cord and for him to be placed on my chest immediately after birth. But she wouldn't let me. I felt such a connection with him since the moment I heard his heartbeat, and I felt like he is the piece of us that is missing and the child we lost. This past week, my sister has been telling us how hard motherhood is, and we offered to adopt him and treat him as our own. We want him so badly, and we love him to pieces. My sister declined and asked that I give her space, and not contact her for a little while she gets her mind straight. We begged her and told her how much this would mean to us. She is currently struggling financially as well. My husband and I plan on calling CPS and an adoption lawyer to see what they think is best for him, and my family has since been calling and telling me I'm an a-hole, and to leave my sister alone. They also demanded we get help, but all I'm trying to do is get custody of my nephew. Am I the a-hole? This genuinely sounds like, she has a lot of trauma from everything that's happened, and probably some mental health issues as well from everything that's occurred. It's a really sucky situation. And in some parts, you really do feel for the woman who wants to take her nephew, but in no way is her behavior appropriate or acceptable. And it's really crazy that they would contact CPS and an adoption lawyer when it doesn't sound like her sister is doing anything wrong. Calling CPS very rarely ends up well for people if nothing is actually happening. I think calling CPS, or thinking about calling CPS, was actually, like, the most red flag I've seen in my life. I think she needs help, and her husband as well. They've been through a lot, and I can imagine the trauma that these situations induce, and that totally makes sense, but nothing about this behavior is normal or acceptable, no matter what way you look at it. Very sad story beginning to end, but also at the same time, it's like, Wow. Alright, so, after reading that, I think we need to be done. So yeah, that's where we're gonna cut it off for the night. So many crazy stories, and so many scary stories. See what I'm doing there? You get it? So, I'm gonna do my best to leave credit for every single post down in the comment section below and the description if you want to check out these stories yourself. But yeah, all credit goes to Toxic Reddit for finding these stories in the first place. I love this page, man. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed our spooky month together, and hopefully I will see you all here next time.